Welcome to the yoga practice. We'll start in a supine position on the floor. You're welcome to have your knees bent, plant the feet comfortably on the floor, having your arms a little bit away. And allow yourself to take a couple of long exhales to feel the body relaxing, feel the whole back of the body grounded on the floor. Adjust the position of the arms or feet or hips to feel comfortable. If you like to have your eyes gently closed, please do so. And then meet from here the start of your practice. The first couple of moments we'll use to connect to the breath and the body, to bring the mind into the practice, to bring the mind to the mat. Maybe you already been busy before the practice, so allow yourself to keep everything away from your mind, any distraction, any thoughts, any plans that you have for yourself. And allow yourself to fully connect to sensations in the body as we will be moving, we will be breathing, connecting the breath and the movement together through the flow. So from here, we'll take the arms overhead on the floor, just turning the palms up toward the ceiling. And just notice how you feel in the upper back, where you feel tension. Also notice if you're able to keep your elbows straight, or if you are bending your elbows, if your thoracic spine is restricting your shoulder blades and restricting your shoulders and arms to be completely flat on the floor. And then let's bend the elbows into cactus pose, so your elbows now aligned with your shoulders. And here, some of you might notice that your wrist comes off the floor. So don't force your fingers to go to the floor. Adjust the wrist to be straight, so continuation of your forearms. And then let's bring the forearms perpendicular to the floor. So cactus pose, but your forearms perpendicular to the floor, your palms facing the back of your mat. And just notice how your shoulder blades turned right, how your shoulders, shoulder blades are grounded, how your shoulder bones turn toward the front. And then from here, bring your right palm toward the floor, pointing the hips, right? So pointing the back. So 90 degrees still, but bringing the palm down, and notice how your shoulder rotate into internal rotation here. Internally, and see if you can touch the floor. Maybe not. Don't force your fingers to touch the floor. And then bring your forearm, the right forearm back perpendicular to the floor. Do the same with the left. So just a little bit of a shoulder mobility here. Again, you might not be completely reaching the floor with the forearm and palm. And bring the left arm back. So let's do the same with the right. Again, just turning your right forearm toward the floor on the sides of your hip, but keep your wrist straight. So notice how your shoulder rotate forward, and then bring it up, and then do the same with the left. And notice maybe left has less mobility, like you feel like your elbow pressed to the floor, maybe even a little bit uncomfortable, but don't try too hard to feel uncomfort and return. And let's try to bring both arms at the same time. You might feel even more restriction. So what I want you to do is to make sure that you're not compensating in your wrist. Keep your wrist straight. So fingers are continuation of your forearm. And then we'll go all the way with both arms to the side of your head. So go into the cactus pose here with the forearms on the right and left side of the head. Again, you might not be able to reach the floor. And one more time, go with your forearms to be on the side of your hips. So internally rotate your shoulder. And then let's again, both forearms will go and you externally rotate your shoulders. Notice how maybe you want to extend your spine to compensate. Try not to do any compensation. One more time. Bring your forearms down and then bring your forearms back to the side of your ears, and then just release your arms up, shake them a little bit, and then let's bring the right knee, hug your right knee and bring the right knee to your chest. You can extend your left leg. I'm gonna do the circular movement with the hip. So open the right knee to the right, then go across, slightly maybe lifting the hip off the floor, press and go around. So just a bit of the warm up for the hip and those circular movements. So help with your two hands to move the knee around and then change the direction. Go a couple of times in the opposite direction. Try to go into full range that you have here when you are externally rotate your hip. And let's release. So reset your feet down to the floor and then extend the right leg and bring your left knee to your chest. So a little bit of a compression here first, and then go into circular movement with the left leg. So coming here, just to warm up the hips, like we did for the shoulders. We know those joints, there's like four corners, so usually we compensate. If we have some restrictions in the left hip, we compensate with the right shoulder. Change the direction with the left knee, going opposite. And then just take your legs up and shake them a little bit, and then rock a couple of times from the head to the hips. And then when you're ready, come into seated position. And as we come to the seated position, take your legs into the wide position here. And let us just work a little bit on the ankle. So pointing and flexing the feet here. You can go 1 foot at a time. You can go 2 feet together. Feeling some stretch on the front of the feet, ankles, maybe even shins. When you flex, you feel stretch on the calves, maybe a little bit even on the hamstrings. And then we'll go to the circular movement. Again, you can go with same direction with your toes, or go opposite directions, whatever feels right. You can experiment, just noticing how you can coordinate those movements. Okay, and then just relax your legs, interlace the fingers, and let's just move the wrist a little bit. Circular movements, one direction, circular movements, the other directions. And then let's just take the right arm parallel and with the palm facing the floor, and just press on the top of the palm, feeling some stretch of the forearm here. And then just pull the fingers toward the face, feeling some stretch and the inner side of the forearm. then go with the other. With the left arm, same thing. First, pressing down. And then pulling the fingers back. And then just shake your arms and let us come into the tabletop position. So we just prep to the wrists, ankles, hips, shoulders, and let us now warm up the spine and just check how the spine moves this morning, lifting the chin up, feeling some stretch in the abdomen area, and then tucking the tailbone under, pointing the crown of the head toward the space between your hands. So allow yourself to move here, connecting the breath and the movement. So this is the first vinyasa of today, when you are connecting the manipulation of the spinal movement and your breathing. And then let us come into child pose with the wide knees. This time you can feel a bit stretch on the lower back and walk your fingers forward. Plant the forehead in between your arms where it feels right for you. Just again, notice how you feel in the area of thoracic spine and shoulders. And let's walk the hands to the left. You can hold the right wrist with the left hand and open the whole space around the right shoulder blade, right armpit. A little bit stretch in the intercostal muscles on the right side here. Taking another exhale, then walk back to the center, and then walk to the right. And here, working on the same stretch on the left side of the body. Taking another exhale, and then let's come back to the center, look forward, and slide your forearms and hips toward the floor. You can have your feet slightly apart, and let us just work a little bit on the spinal extension. So with inhale, lifting the elbows off the floor, feeling a bit of a stretch on the front, but make sure you're not lifting your shoulders toward the ears. Bring your forearms down. Again, inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, come down one more time. Up just a bit of the extension here, and exhale. And then bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage. Maybe first come into tabletop position, and then find your first downward dog. So for the first downward dog, keep your knees bent, set the head between the arms, long spine, press the heels toward the floor as hard as you can, shake the head, take another exhale, and then let's drop the knees down to the floor into tabletop position. So let us work a little bit on the core activation. We'll bring the knees together, and let us extend the right leg, lifting the right leg off the floor. But when you do that, make sure that your belly is not collapsing to the chest, to the floor. And when you're ready, take your left arm parallel to the floor. Keep your right foot flexed. Allow yourself to align the left arm with the ear. Neck is neutral. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's release. So knees closer to the midline will help you to have more stable position. Extend your left leg. Lift your left leg off the floor. Keep the foot flexed. Keep the glute engaged. Hold the lower abdomen engaged, and then extend the right arm. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Let us again take the knees back into the hip distance. And here we're going to tug the toes and lift the knees off the floor into the beast pose, holding. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down. If you need in between, just stretch the wrist, and while you're resting, just watch me. We're going to go into a little bit more advanced core and stabilization exercise. We're going to have the hands closer to the midline, so you're going to have more stability, and we're going to be tapping. So we're going to take in the right hand off the floor and tap the left knee, and then opposite, and then this, and then this. And you, of course, you try not to go with your hips from side to side. So we're going to do 2 taps, right, left, rest, right, and then again, okay? So your wrist will be resting. So control the stability as much as possible. So to have a little bit more support, I'm advising you to bring your palms closer to the midline. So when you're going to take the one hand off the floor, you will have the support under the center of your torso. But your feet should be hip distance, okay? So tuck your toes, lift your knees 1-2 inches off the floor. So bring the body weight to the left hand, focus on stable left shoulder, tap the left knee with the right hand. Bring it back, tap the right knee with the left hand. Again, come to the center, tap, come to the center, tap, come to the center, and then drop the knees. Have a little bit of a stretch for the wrist. We'll go in for the second set here. So coming into a little bit modified beast with the hands under the chest. Tuck your toes, lift your knees off the floor. This time bring the body weight to the right hand, tap the right knee with the left hand, tap the left knee with the right hand, tap the right knee with the left hand, tap the left knee with the right hand, focus on stable position, drop the knees. Again, a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a wrist stretch, and we'll have one more set. Returning back to position, tucking the toes, lifting the knees off the floor, and let's go. Tap, 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 hold, drop the knees, exhale. So let us go into a couple of shoulder circles, as shoulders definitely help us to stay stable. And we'll tuck the toes and lift the knees off the floor, lift the heels, coming to the tippy toe squat. Here your core should be already warmed up to hold your balance here. Take your arms in front, hold for, try to keep your shoulders above the hips, so try not to fold forward. Engage the core, and then bring the hands to the floor, drop the heels, and just adjust yourself, walk toward the back of the mat, and very slowly come up into a standing position. Okay, so we'll go into a couple of movements here. We're going to be walking into plank and then returning back into standing, and we will add the fold forwards as well. So a little bit of different warm-up today. With inhale, lift the arms up, hinging forward into the fold, hands touching the floor, knees could be bent. Look forward and walk into the plank. Hold the plank, resist to the ground, just squeeze your glutes, have a stable shoulders, and then walk back into the fold. Bring the hands on the shins, lift the chest halfway, and fold all the way up. Into standing, exhale, bring the arms on the sides of the hips. Going again, inhale. Exhale, hinging from the hips, all the way into the fold. Walking into the plank. Hold the plank, so make sure you're not extending your lower back. Squeeze your glutes. Strong shoulders. Walk back into the fold. Hands on the shins. Lift the chest halfway and fold all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the arms on the sides. One more time. Inhale. Hinging from the hips. Exhale. Look forward. Walk into the plank. Hold the plank. Strong glutes. Walk back. And bring the hands to the shins. Lift the chest halfway. And fold all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the arms on both sides of the hips. This time we're going to add knee to the elbow in the plank. Okay? So with inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Looking forward, walking into plank. Having stable shoulders. Bring your feet a little bit closer to the midline. Reach with the right knee to the right elbow. And return back into plank. Reach with the left knee to the left elbow. Return back to the plank. Walk your hands to the feet. Bring your hands to the shins. And fold all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the arms on the sides. This time we're going to go across. Right knee to the left elbow. Inhale. Exhale. Folding forward. Walking into the plank. Finding your stable plank. Again, feet could come to the midline. Bring your right knee to the left elbow. Hold. Come back to the plank. Bring your left knee to the right elbow. Hold. Come back into the plank. Walk your hands back to the feet. Hands on the shins. And fold all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands on both sides of the hips. This time we're going to go, we'll bring the knee to the center and nose to the knee. One set. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Looking forward, walking into plank. Having your strong plank, feet can come to the center line. Bring your right knee to your nose to your knee. Squeeze the thigh to the chest. Return back into plank. Bring your left knee to the chest, nose to the knee. Pull it all together. Return back to the plank. Walk your hands back to your feet. Hands on the shins. And fold all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the arms on the sides of the hips. So take in one exhale here. And we'll go to my traditional sun salutation from here. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Hands on the shins, lift the chest. Walk into the plank. Hold the plank, then drop the knees. Come all the way down, exhale. Let's bring the arms into cactus pose. Strong legs. Lift your chest off the floor, lift your legs off the floor, lift your forearms off the floor. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage, tug the toes. Exhale, come into the downward dog. So take additional exhale in a downward dog, and then bring your left foot toward the midline. Step the right foot forward into lunge. Bringing the hands to the hips, lifting the torso up. Having a moment here in standing, knee 90 degree. Take your arms behind the head. Open the chest, maybe take a gaze up toward the ceiling. Feel a bit of the stretch on the front of the chest. On exhale, bring the hands down to the floor and step into plank. Lower yourself down, exhale. Again, hands into the cactus pose, slightly separated legs. Lift it up, lift your chest, lift it forearms. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and flow into the downward dog. Exhale. On next inhale, step in the right foot a little bit closer to the midline. Step in the left foot forward into lunge. Inhale the arms up. Hold the warrior one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the hands on the floor. Step into plank. And then come to the downward dog. Exhale. On next inhale, look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Set up the feet hip distance. Bring the hands on the shins. Lift the chest halfway. From the hips, unfold all the way up. Exhale, bring the arms on both sides of the hips. Taking the breath here. Let's come to the center of your mat, and we'll take the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, point the index finger up, and then press the hips to the right and come into the side bend. Try to keep your head between your arms and feel more body weight on the right leg. You can even hold your right wrist. So it's like a standing bananasana, right? So just opening the side. And come back. Let's release the arms to just let the shoulders rest. And then go to the opposite. Lifting the arms up, interlacing the fingers. Pressing the left hip away and coming into side bend here. You can hold your left wrist and like pull the arm a little bit. Continue to press the left hip away, opening the side of the body, and come all the way up and release. So let us here hinge from the hips and come all the way down to reach to the big toe. So have your index finger, middle finger, holding the big toe under, and then the thumb goes around. And then from here, bend your elbows. You can bend your knees as much as you need, making sure the body weight is equally distributed, and you're using a little bit of the biceps to pull the head toward the floor. But also think of sending the seat bones up toward the ceiling. So make sure the body weight not standing on the heels. It feels like you're going to fall forward just in a bit. That's going to create this long line of the crown of the head reaching toward the floor and giving you stretch on the whole back of the body. And then bring the hands on the shins. Lift the chest halfway. Hold here for the moment because we were with the head down for a bit. And then from here, unfold up. Exhale. So let us step with the feet into the triangle pose, turning the right foot out, left foot in. Allow the left hip to rotate forward a bit. Bring the right hand to the hip crease. Bring your left hand to your lower back and fold. So this fold is very different from the one we just practiced when the spine was all rounded. Here, I would like you to visualize that spine create one straight line. And then from here, we're going to take the right arm parallel to the floor. Turn your chin toward the left shoulder. So you're working on the strengthening on the right, the lower part of your neck here, as you're not dropping the head down and you're not bringing the chin to your chest. The front of the neck is open. Bring the right hand on the hip crease and unfold up. Let us turn the right foot in, left foot out. Allow the right hip to turn forward a little bit. From the hip crease, fold. Bring the right hand to your lower back. Ground yourself through the right leg. Extend the left arm. So again, so it's not rounded. It's not this curved position for the spine. It's all straight, both sides of the body straight. Hold here, strong legs. And then bring the left hand to the hip crease and unfold. Let us again turn the right foot out, and this time allow yourself to slide your feet a little bit wider. Bend your right knee, bring the hands on the hips, so your legs in a warrior two position. Control the front knee, it's not falling inward. So your inner thigh is controlling, and just keep your left hip weight comfortable. Bring your arms parallel to the floor. Make sure you're not extending. Your ribs are not popping up forward. You're all engaged in this center of your torso, and then bring your gaze to the right middle finger. Have your shoulders relaxed. So this is a static strength pose. Let's close the eyes for the moment and feel yourself grounded first of all, and then lengthening, and then reaching with the arms, like taking this space, giving the statement of control of the body. Release the arms, bring the front knee straight, turn the foot in. Take your left foot out, bend the left knee, the right hip is rotated forward, and then when you're ready, take your arms parallel to the floor. Front knee pressed forward. So back leg is strong. When you're ready, bring your gaze to the left, and again, for the moment, you can close your eyes and just feel how grounded you are, how every muscle in the body is in control of the position and space. And keep your breath long and steady here. Release the arms, bring the front knee straight. Again, turn the right foot. We're coming into the same leg position for the warrior two. And now from the right hip crease, allow your torso to go to the right, but you're not again. So understand the difference between curving the spine and getting your spine as continuation of this line. And take your both arms on the both sides of the head. If it's too much, relax your right elbow and keep the left arm up. Otherwise, keep both arms. Try not to let your left shoulder to fall forward. Rotate the left shoulder to touch invisible wall there. Keep your right knee 90 degree here. And then release the arms and unfold, and then bring your knee straight. Turn the right foot in, left foot out, bend the left knee. Then from the hip crease, allow yourself to go to the left. Both arms on the both sides of the head, or just one arm, but you're not collapsing to the elbow. So this arm is just relaxed here, just touching, but the right arm is straight. The right arm is continuation of the right leg here. And again, try to press the shoulder back, release the arms, unfold. Take your toes out this time and come into the squat. So as you come into the squat, make sure that your knees are not going wider than your heels. So adjust the position and take your arms in front, and here tug the tailbone under just a little bit. Use your glutes and come into your lowest position. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up, take a rest. We'll have 2 more sets here. So coming into squat, going low, 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 low. Make sure you're not extending in the lower back. Engage the glutes. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up, rest. Next one, notice if you can lift your toes and be on your heels. So coming into the squat, open knees, arms in front. Lift your toes. So being on the heels, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Let's turn the toes in from the hips. Fold forward. Allow yourself to stretch your glutes and hamstrings here. So start with a very relaxed position. Exhale. And then slowly come up, one vertebra at a time, into the standing pose, and go toes, heels, into standing position. Taking a moment here in standing position still to allow yourself to feel again grounding, allow yourself to feel how the feet support your body. And then bring the body weight to the right foot and just open the left knee into the tree pose. But when we do that, we have a tendency to collapse to the right hip. So engage your glutes, engage the whole right side of the body. Bring the hands in front of the chest. So the whole right side is strong, left side is pretty relaxed. 5 more breaths. And release. So shake your legs. Bring the body weight to the left foot and open the knee out. Ground yourself through the left side. Bring the hands in front of the chest. And let's release. Great. Shake your legs. And now let us flow, and we'll add some hip stretching in this flow. So we are on the front of the mat in the mountain pose, checking the breath. And with inhale, lift the arms up. Hinge from the hips all the way down. Hands on the shins, lift the chest halfway. And then touch the floor and step the left foot back. So for this stretch, you would like maybe to have the blocks. And we'll start with the blocks on the 2 sides of the right foot. And here, just make sure you're adjusting the back knee to go as far as it feels comfortable for the knee. And then from here, you start walking your right foot to the right edge of the mat. Open this 45 degree and open this knee out, coming to maybe outer edge of the right foot. But when you go here, make sure that you're not collapsing to the ankle. You want to keep your foot active here. You can hold your hands high on the blocks, but if you feel you would like to go lower, you can bring 1 or 2 blocks and bring your forearms here. So just check where you want to be, as we're going to be holding that little bit. So opening the right knee to the side, feel and stretch in the inner thigh. Feel and stretch in the left hip flexor as well. Head is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. We'll have here another 5 breaths. Then we'll lift the chest, so you can arrange the block to be on the sides of the mat for the next hold. Lift your left knee off the floor by tapping the toes, and just slide your right leg back into the downward dog. Walk your dog here a little bit, maybe move your hips a little bit. And then when you're ready, step your left foot forward, dropping the right knee. So using the blocks for support, first of all, you would like to find the comfortable position for the back knee. Then walk your left foot to the edge, open the foot out, and then rotate to the outer edge if that's working for your hip, controlling that you lock in the knee with a flexed foot. And here you are putting one block on the top of the other, or just using one block, depend on the flexibility of your hips, and being pretty much relaxed in the whole body. Only your arms and blocks helping you for support. Dropping the head down, feeling some inner thigh stretch. Let's hold that for another 5 breaths. And then again, rearrange the blocks to be on the sides of the mat. We'll need them again. And tuck the right toes and slide the left leg back into downward dog and walk your dog here. The next 2 asanas will be the pigeon pose. So set your left foot to come to the midline. Take your right leg up and let us first of all open the hips. So rotate your knee to point it up toward the ceiling. You feel a bit of the stretch to the outer edge of the hip, and then send your right knee forward. So I will turn to show you how we set it up. So let us first just drop the right hip down to the floor and adjust the front ankle to come as much parallel to the front edge of the mat as possible. And don't worry about the back leg first. Lift your hips and find the block, or if you want, you can even use the bolster. So you would like to square the hips to face the front of the mat. First of all, have your back and knees straight here. So take your time to set your hips square with your ankle as much as possible, whatever your knee and the front ankle allows you. And then using the second block, bring the forehead down, release the arms again symmetrically on the sides of the block. And here we will be holding. So I would urge you to keep your hips flat, to keep your feet parallel to the mat. So you need to adjust that. Keep your shoulders relaxed. So as I mentioned earlier today, if you have limitation in your right hip, you might compensate with a tension in your left shoulder. So play with the left arm to make sure that you are comfortable with the left shoulder, both forearms resting equally on the floor. And let us hold that for 1 minute. So slowly first lift the forehead. Take your hands on the side, so lift your torso. Take a moment here and then start moving the hands closer to the right front knee, that you can tuck the left toes and just release the right leg to come into the downward dog. So if you feel in this downward dog that you want to maybe shake your right leg in the air, even left leg in the air, go ahead here. And then just hold your downward dog for the couple of breaths before we go and build the other side. So for the other side, we'll start with a stepping the right foot to the midline of the mat and opening the left hip. So taking the left knee up toward the ceiling and feeling some stretch on the lateral side of the hip. And then we'll send the left knee forward, okay? So here, we're sending the left knee forward and first just dropping the hip down to the floor. Adjusting the front knee, flex it. So it's very important to keep the front foot flexed to lock the knee. And then just using the both arms, lift your hips to place the block under the sit bone. So you're aligning your hip into the front and then extending the right leg and coming into fold. Maybe you need to move a little bit to side to set the proper position for the hip and ankle. And when you're ready, we'll bring the forehead down, release the arms again, making sure that you don't have any tension in the right shoulder here. And we'll hold that for another minute. Slowly lift the forehead, adjust your hands, maybe moving the block away, and again just sliding the left leg back, and maybe you feel like you want to shake your left leg, go ahead here a couple of times, and then just drop the knees down to the floor. So let us come into the 90-90 position. You might want to use your block. They might be needed for a little bit of support for your hands. So first just observe what we'll try. We're going to work a little bit on the internal rotation of the hip that usually is more limited. So we will be just lifting the right heel. So you also, if you feel that it's really challenging for you, you might want to have the band just to assist you here. So I'll show you what I mean. So you might have a band around the foot and you will be just lifting this foot. So see if you're able to lift it like that. It's harder, it's maybe a much more limited range, but you're using your muscles here to mobilize this internal rotation. If this is really challenging for you, try to use the band, but I want you also to fold toward your front ankle when you do this. So just explore. So knee, the right knee is on the floor, yeah. It might be a very, very challenging movement. So, but make sure that you have 90-90, so the front shin and this right hip are parallel to each other. Yes, yes, so knees pretty far, and that would make it really challenging. And then you face in the front to do this. So yeah, I can see everyone is trying. It's not easy, so if it's not working for you, you can help with the band here to pull the knee like that, but still facing the front. Okay, a couple of more times here. And we'll do this on the other side. So coming to 90-90 on the other side to start with. So you want to have your front shin and back thigh parallel. Maybe using the blocks here to support you, and then you try to lift. So you can see how range is much limited for me when I'm trying to do it on its own. And when I put the band, yes, I can go a little bit more, right? So play with the both just to understand here. So we would like to work on the internal rotation of the hip. It's a very important range that quite limited. We barely exercises in a day-to-day movements. We're gonna always come with the knees out, right? So just to balance the hip stability, we would work here. So maybe a couple of more times. Band or no band. Let's try and let us release. So we can even have a same side. This time you can come to a little bit more comfortable position. The right toe can touch your left knee. So it's more of a deer leg pose. And we're gonna rotate to the right, so our right knee in front, left leg behind, so you still have internal rotation on the left hip, and we'll come into twist. You're welcome to use bolster if you own one, or just two blocks maybe under the chest or face. You don't necessarily have to turn your face to the right. It might be too much for the neck. You can turn your face to the left, so anything that feels comfortable. You will have a sensation of quite deep stretch around a right hip, the back of the right hip, and the area of the glute here. But you also might feel quite intense sensations on the lateral side of the left hip. So here's no rules how you hold this pose. You just trying to find the position, and we'll hold that for 1 minute. The last 5 breaths are here. And then very slowly come up. Maybe for a moment, extend your both legs. Shake them a little bit, get your spine up straight to rest, and then we'll come to the other side. So take your time to find a really comfortable position for the hips. Left big toe can touch the right knee. Again, bolster or blocks will go to the left side, and you will rotate to the left as far. You twist as far as it feels right for you, and relax here. Try to keep your breath calm, long, rhythmic. Direct your exhale to the area that feels tight. On this side for me is my right waist area rather than hips. I feel much less stretch in the hips, but more on the sides of the body. Just shows some asymmetry in the body, so for you it might be something different as well. The last 5 breaths here. Then again, lift the torso. We'll have a moment here with the straight spine. And before we go to Shavasana, I would like to work on the release of the lower back. We had those twists, we had those hip openings, so it's definitely put some strain to the lower back. We'll come into the supported bridge. So we'll need just one block because it has to be a very moderate lift. You place your block under the hips, aligning the top of the block with the top of your sacrum bone, trying to feel a little bit of the posterior tilt. Here, relax lower back. Your knees have to be bent, and you right away finding your arms into position that feels comfortable, that you may be going to be using for Shavasana. So we'll just have a bit of a relaxed abdomen position. We also loaded the abdomen muscles today with the yang practice in the beginning. So keep it's all soft and relaxed. We'll just have a 1 minute in this position, and then we'll come to Shavasana. To come out, you might bring your heels a little bit closer, lift your hips, remove the block, bring your hips down. Maybe you feel you want to bring one knee at a time, just to stretch a little bit the lower back, and then release your legs straight to the corners of the mat. Take your arms to the side, keep your eyes closed. And as we practice in Shavasana, we're inviting you to scan the body and feel the release in the area of the hips, connection between hips and shoulders, and feel that the whole center of your torso is all relaxed and calm. not force the breath to any certain pattern, but allowing the breath to be very natural. When you're ready, allow the movements of toes and fingers. Bend your knees. Maybe bring both of them to your chest and rock till you're ready to come to one side and come into the seated position. Come into the cross-legged position here. I'm just noticing how your hips respond to this cross-legged position after the hip stretches that we practiced today. If you feel a bit more of a space and lengthening through the spine, bring the hands in front of the heart. Taking a moment to admit the end of the practice. Thank yourself for being able to come to the mat this morning. Practice with a group, even with your environment out there, your own home. Definitely feel the connection through the screens to the group. I would like to thank you all for sharing your energy, and I would like to wish you a beautiful and sunny weekend. Namaste.